Hello, everyone. Um, this is a bit unusual for me, but earlier today I posted a video of the Grex versus the Iwata, the Grex TF5 versus the Iwata HP SBS. And in that video, I showed you how that Grex was skipping. Now, I've heard from a lot of people that had that same problem. So what I did was, it bothered me after I did that. It just kept eating away at me. There's a part of that video I took out because the video ran over an hour. I found that the needle was pretty rough, so I had to repolish it, and I'll show you that in a second here in this video here. And also, I did a couple of tweaks. I tightened the trigger on it for Arlo. So if you bear with me, I'm going to show you the first part where I show you the video where I polished the needle, and then I want to show you how this airbrush works after I've done a couple of tweaks on it. I'll be back in a second. Now let's get this Grex bad boy cleaned up a little bit. I'm going to rinse out the cup, get everything cleaned out of there. Get a little of my juice in there. I like the size of that cup, I'll be honest with you, man, because you can get your hand in there, man, and just really clean that out, see? So that's a plus right away. Um, Hook that bad boy up to some, let me get rid of this. The handle seems a little loose. Let me tighten that back up. There we go. There's some chingaderas in there. Put this on there so I can get a back flush. Take that off. Empty it. I mean, it's got a smooth trigger. I'll give it that. It's got a smooth trigger action. It's not a bad airbrush. Sprays relatively well. My problem right off the bat, and I just showed you guys, was that skipping. I'm not too fond of that little skip that it had. I didn't like that. I like that the fact that I can get a Q-tip in here and clean that out. And let's get this opened up. Pull that needle. Get that in there. Look at that. That's how dirty these things get, guys. Side feeds are a little bit more work to keep clean, but this is a plus for me that I'm able to get a Q-tip in there inside here to get where the paint builds up in there to get that out. I like that. I like the fact that I can do that. I want to make sure Brother Half-Ass gets a airbrush that's clean. He sent it to me clean, and I want to make sure he gets it back clean. So there we go. That. get that back on there. Wipe that needle. Now, looking at that needle, it could use a little polishing fast. So I would take a piece of 4/0 steel wool and polish that needle up a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a little rough. So you can use a little polishing, Brother Fast. I'm just wiping it down, making sure that I've got everything off of it. Yeah, the needle's a little rough. Give me a second. Let me get some 4/0 steel wool. That could be the reason. That could be the reason why this thing is skipping. Also, um, that needle doesn't look as refined as, say, an Iwata or a Badger needle would be. Right here on the end, polish it up a little bit. Yeah, that's better. It's gonna take some work. This needle is rough. Yeah, like right in here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you see the burrs in it right about there. That's the needle. Um, it's not smooth. Let's see if I can get that polished out. Yeah, it's a little better. Turning it. But right around here, right around that crest there, excuse me, let me get my hand there. Right at that crest there, where it starts to taper, there's a real bad dip in there. And right at the end of the taper, about here, right about, so I can get my hand in there, right about there, right before you get to the tip there, it was pretty bad. Now, I would, and as I'm running it, like right across this steel wool, I could feel it biting on that one spot. So yeah, I'm wondering if that's the problem with why it was skipping. So it could be. The flow is not perfect over the top of it. You know, it's not a smooth, consistent flow. All right, let's get to this one now. Let's wipe this thing now. Again, Brother Fast, he sent this to me in pristine condition. It was clean, and I'm gonna try to get my best to send it back to him the same way he sent it to me, clean. So let's get that. A little bit of this off of there so I can get that sign. See, I like this part that I'm able to get a cleaning. Do I have a? I'm able to get something in there. See? Um, where do I have? Getting a pipe cleaner. I want to ensure that, again, this is not my airbrush. It was sent to me to review it. So I want to make sure it's about as clean as I can possibly get it. See that? Flush that out. in there. Brother Fast, you're getting an airbrush, man. It's probably cleaner than when you sent it to me. Now let's lock that back down. You know what? That feels better. There's the fan tip, needle cap, and there it is. The Grex Tritium. Um, I'll give you guys my final thoughts on the TF5 and what I thought about the two. Be back in a second. Okay, I used the same paint, mixed it, same cleaner. It's sitting right here, same consistency. And I want to show you guys a little something. Now, as you noticed in that video I just put up there, I showed you that I had to polish that needle out. That needle was pretty rough. So I took it apart. I tightened up the trigger here. I tightened that up a little bit more. I'll have to wipe that down. And I polished that needle out. Let me show you the difference. Let me see if I can get this in a little closer. And I want to show you just what those two little tweaks did. Now here's that piece of paper. Remember earlier I showed you. Now look at this. Look at that line. You see that? So beautiful. It's still got a little burping in there. Nothing major. Um, I'll show you down here a nice spray pattern there. And then it come into some tight lines. And you see that? It's a little better. I wanted to be fair. Now, I don't want anyone to say that I didn't give this airbrush a good shot. So as you see, we do the little lines there, the little dots. Right there, and the trigger's nice and tight now. A little tighter than it was before. It still burps a little bit, but not as much as it did before. And as you can see, it's a lot better. I just wanted to post that because again, I want to be fair in my my reviews. I'm also going to show you what this bad boy does. This is the Iwata HP TH. It's got a 0.5 needle in there. It's a beast of an airbrush. But watch. You see that line? Almost the same. So you can get the same consistent line with them both. With this and with the Grex. Let me just blow that out real quick. I'll put some cleaner in here so it'll just sit there until I'm ready to clean it out. But the reason I went back to it was because it's sitting there and it's eating away at me, man. You know, and I don't want to give the impression that I've got a bad I got a thing for this airbrush. You know, I want to give it a fair shot like everything else. So I'll be back in a second. So I just wanted to clear that up, guys. it was eating away at me, man. You know, I polished that needle up, and I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, wait a minute, you know, going over in my head, what could be wrong with it? You know, I didn't think in my head that Grex would send something out like that. You know, now I know I've had problems with the other one before. So what I did was, there's a screw. I don't know if you see it right there. I tightened that down a little bit. Let me see if I can get you to come out focus for me there. Let me see. Right in here, there's a screw. Tighten that down a little bit more. You know, adjusted the spring a little bit more. Took the needle out, polished the snot out of it, and you saw how it sprayed. Does it change my opinion on them? No. Would I buy one if I found one at about $120 maybe? But I wouldn't pay what they're asking for. I think it's a worthy competitor to this, but is it an Iwata? No, but it's not a bad airbrush, guys. Um, I don't know. Maybe I might even think, you know what? I might even think about picking one up myself. You know, so I wanted to clear that up because I don't want any misconceptions out there. I've been using airbrushes a long time. 1984 is when I started with them, and I've seen all kinds. And this is the only airbrush that I've actually disliked. But you know what? I went back and I gave it another look at it, played around with it, figured out that there was too much slop in that trigger. So I tightened that trigger up, polished the needle, sprays nice. So I leave it up to you. It's all up to you. If you can find one of these at a good price, man, get them. I wouldn't pay what they're asking for them, but it's not a bad airbrush, guys. So I'll leave it up to you guys. You guys have a good evening, man. Stay safe, stay healthy. Peace.